what's going on, y'all? I want to make an introduction to this video and podcast that you're about to watch and or listen to with Christina Bravo. Christina and her husband, I always want to call him Johnny, Edward. Edward Bravo came to our progression years ago, and their transformation has been great. And I wanted to get her on because she has a really unique family perspective. And I took some notes here, so I just want to make sure that I cover some of the things that are in this episode because it's so great. Like many of us, she came from a place of like being relatively lean when she was younger, not knowing that what she was doing was a problem, doing a lot of the wrong things. And then all that stuff caught up with her. And at some point, after she had some kids and they had this really chaotic family life and she felt bad and had gained a lot of weight, she had this realization that I want to do something for myself. I want to get back to doing things for me that make me feel good because I want to be better for my kids and better for my family and those that I care about. And if I get myself healthy and I make myself look better, then that's going to be good for everything around me. I thought that was such a great realization, and that kind of kicked her off on this journey. She had started out doing different diet programs, different fitness programs, which all were better than not doing anything at all. It kind of moved her in a good direction. And then eventually she found her way into the SHT, and that's when things really changed, because with the SHT, as many of us kind of know, it's a way of life for a lifetime. And some of the personal benefits that she experienced were things like, obviously more energy and more confidence, and the simplicity and elegance of the way that we do things makes it doable for a lifetime, because it's easy. It really is. It's very simplistic and easy. And she became a role model for her kids and her family and her friends. And she realized this is something I can do for a lifetime. And then she had some great kids advice. So later in the episode, you'll hear her talk a lot about, like, when it comes to kids, how, she started just cooking the same meals for them that she was cooking for them with the main meals. And then they started getting into like educating the kids about why certain things were good for them and why they didn't do other things. She talks a little bit about like how you have to keep putting things in front of kids in different ways sometimes to get them to change their taste buds or change their attitude towards certain dishes. And then she had a lot of little pro tips for getting creative with plates and designs and utensils and getting them involved. And I just thought it was such a great episode. And before it starts, I just want to reiterate that you have to make yourself a priority, because when you make yourself a priority and you focus on your personal health, and especially when you find the right thing, the right methodology, the right workout program for you, then it is time well spent, because everything about your life gets better. Your family situation, your personal relationships, your business, anything and everything improves, because when you show up to life healthier and different, when you find health, you find yourself. We've said that many times, and I'm just so excited to bring this to you because I was tearing up watching it and listening to it as I was going through it. So again, Christina Bravo, I hope you guys enjoy. All right, cool. So sitting here today with Christina Bravo, and so tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourself if you don't mind.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Bravo. I'm 34. I am married. I'm a mom, 2 little ones, a 7-year-old boy and a 6-year-old girl.
Close together, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. It's fine now, but yeah.
Now, who's the biggest problem? Like the kids or Edward? I was gonna say Johnny Bravo.
Edward, of course.
Edward?
The hubby. No, the kids are fine. They get along and they're sweet.
That's cool. That's awesome. And then you guys work together, right?
We do.
You and Edward?
Yeah, we do. We work at the same place, but we don't interact that much, so cool. It's kind of nice. Yeah,
good to have that little bit of space.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get you on just because, when did y'all go through the progression? Was that 2 years ago or 3 years ago? Or
Like a year and a half now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so was that most recent one besides this last one that we did?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so it was last year's. All right, cool.
It was.
So I remember you going through that and just seeing a lot of great changes. And then when I would talk to you here and there, like I found out like you did all this stuff with your kids. And I really wanted to get your insights on how that experience was and what it was like to try to implement in the family situation, and see if we can kind of tease out some things that some other people could maybe find some use out of,
Yeah, of course.
So tell us a little bit about you. Like what was your life like? What led you to where we are now? Yeah, like if you had to describe your life and some major events that happened getting you to where you are now, Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, well, before kids, I was always this like skinny little thing that never had to worry about what I ate, so I always ate crap. I never exercised and didn't need to. And so when I got married and had the kids, like that all changed. And I didn't know what to do because it like just came out of nowhere and I had no idea. Like, I think I gained like 30 pounds just getting married, and then I had the kids, so it was even worse. So I never had to think about it, and when I actually tried to do something about it, I didn't know what to do. And then I had the 2 kids back to back, not sleeping, overwhelmed, and that didn't help. So I was kind of defeated for a while about that. But I knew I wanted to change because I had no energy. And the poor kids, like, they needed me. And I wanted better for them. And I wanted them, to be better and, see a mom that was strong and can do anything.
So you had that realization when you weren't feeling that great.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty wise. Like, a lot of us don't have that realization in that moment. I mean, sometimes we hit like rock bottom or something, but
yeah,
I think that's beautiful to like have the awareness that I want something better for myself and something better for my kids.
Yeah, they're the ones that definitely helped, because I would look at them and I wanted them to have that mom, that ran around with them all day and that they thought, was strong and could do anything.
So because of the way you felt, you didn't feel like you were capable of doing all that?
I couldn't. I barely had energy to.
What was that
to
like?
Get through it. It was awful. I felt bad. I felt like I could. Like I would. I was at home with them for like 2 years, and I barely had enough energy just to take care of them, do just the normal things.
What was that like though? Like, would you feel like you have to sit and take a nap or something?
Yeah, like I would do game. Like I felt bad. They'd want to play, and it'd always just be games where I could just sit. Like, let's just sit here and play here, and like what? Like I'm young. Like really, I can't like get up and run around because I was just tired, and so everything was just sit here. Let's play sitting. It was bad.
Did you have any idea what it was that was making you feel that way? Did you feel like something was wrong, like you were sick, or was it like you knew it was...
I knew it was the not sleeping, but I also knew I was eating like crap. Like it was, that's what I craved even, like just bad things because it felt good at the time or whatever it was, or because I was overwhelmed and just trying to survive. But I knew it was like, I knew I ate junk and that, I needed to sleep better. And I also, with my daughter, who's my second, I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with her. And they told me, the doctor said, because it runs in my family too, my dad has diabetes, my sister, and they told me, you are more likely to get it now, so you need to be very careful. You need to exercise, you need to eat right. And I had that in the back of my mind. I was like, no, I really need to do something. And then the time just passed and I didn't. And then when I started feeling like crap like that when my kids were little, I remembered and I got scared. I was like, no way can I get diabetes. It sucked when I was pregnant and had to, prick myself all the time or like do all of that.
So you had the doctors telling you that.
Yeah.
And then you go on about your life and then you started to feel bad and then you're like, remember that.
Yeah. So, and it scared me. I was like, no, I have to do something. So I tried on my own. I started like exercising at home, like videos and.
What was some of the videos? Like anything
right,
you know? Did you do the insanity?
Yes, insanity.
Yeah?
I did do that, which it did help. I wasn't moving before, and then I tried like low fat, like no carb stuff with really boring, nasty food, and I always, I felt unhappy. Like this, and I never kept up with anything I tried because I always saw it as a temporary thing. Like, okay, I gotta lose 20 pounds and then I could, eat whatever I want. Like it doesn't make any sense, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's all our mentality.
Yeah.
Like you get into it because you want to see these changes, but you don't really see it as something that you're going to be doing for a lifetime.
Yeah, I didn't. I was just looking for something to fix it then until I felt good, and then I'm done. I was looking at the finish line all the time. So it never worked. when I was younger, I don't know, just never having to worry about what I ate. Like, I think that was big, that, you know, I was just naturally thin and worry-free for a long time. That made things worse for me because I didn't even know, and I felt fine too eating all that junk. Like, I never felt bad until I had the kids. So I think it made it harder for me later on, when all of a sudden, like, I'm 30 pounds heavier and I can't do anything. Like, I felt the weight on me. I could, and then it was harder because I didn't even know what it was like to feel fat or crappy or anything.
Yeah. It snuck up on you.
Yeah. And then, you know, Edward and I got married young. We were 23. And that was huge. I never even lived away from my parents before that.
Where are you from?
I was born in California, but Long Beach, but I grew up here. I think I was like 7 when we moved here. And he went straight from his parents' house too. We didn't even ever live alone. So we were kind of clueless, both of us. So all we did was, like, when we first got married, just I remember one time it was like 10 p.m. and I was like, let's just go. We would just eat junk that late just because we can. It was just ridiculous. So I think getting married so young and never being on my own, and like him and I trying to figure things out together, was bad too. That's when we gained a lot of weight too.
Just challenging, yeah. Just challenging, trying to navigate all that.
Yeah, because we were clueless. And then definitely when I had the kids so close together like that, it was hard. It was hard. I stayed home with them for 2 years, and that's like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
So what was hard about it?
So when Layla, my daughter, the youngest, she was born, Noah was a year and 4 months, so he was still a baby. And then Edward worked all day. He was gone, and they just both needed me so much. And it was constant, like feeding, changing diapers, entertaining them, like crying all the time, toys, mess everywhere. I hate mess. Like, I really do. Like, it stressed me out, but I couldn't control it. There was stuff everywhere. I had no time for me, like 0. And Edward had a really hard time with it. So he like, my mind is kind of chaos always. So, like, the chaos I could kind of deal with more than him, he wasn't used to anyone even touching his things. Like, not even me. Like, if I moved something, he would know. So it was even harder on him. So he was super stressed, and then he was the only one working, which stressed him out too. So I had to always help him with his stress, and then the 2 little ones that I lost completely who I was. Like, I didn't know. I didn't do anything. Like, it was just the kids all day, go to sleep. The kids all day, go to sleep. Nothing for me. So when I finally started to try and work on me, you know, that was a big moment. And then when I found
was it like a definitive moment? Do you remember having some kind of conversation with yourself, or was it?
Yeah, I remember. I was like, I realized we were in the car, and then Edward always has his music, and then I was like, why don't we never listen to music I like? Like, I just realized, I was like, I didn't even remember what I like. Like, what do I like? I don't even know. And then I was thinking, when's the last time I ever, like, did something for me? And I couldn't remember. And I at that moment, I was like, no. Like, I don't care what it takes. Like,
You remember that exact moment? Like,
I do. We were in the car. Yeah. I was like,
Huh.
how do I not? What the heck? Like, I don't even remember the last time that we listened to. And I love music. Like, what? And I love dancing. I don't remember the last time I did that. And it was sad. Like, that's so sad. And I remember saying, nope. Like, I have to, you know, I have to make the next year about me. Like, I don't care where it fits, because, like, most of the time it was because I felt bad. Like, no, you can't go work out for like an hour and a half. Like, the kids need you. Or no, you can't just go do whatever, get your nails done, whatever it was that feels good, because they need you. And it's that mom guilt. Like, it's dumb. Like,
you sacrificed your health and happiness, for what you felt like was being a good parent.
Yeah.
But then you realized being healthy is probably going to make you a better parent.
Yeah. I was like, but that's not what they need. Like, I'm there, but I can't even get up. Like, I'm sitting there. Like, how is that better? Yeah. So then I was like, no, I have to take care of me so I can take care of them. Like, it just hit me. It seems like common sense, but like, you don't think about that. All you think about is when you're away, you're just feeling bad. Like, I'm supposed to be with my kids. Like, what's wrong with you? But no, they also need you to be happy, healthy, full of energy. And yeah, it was a huge moment. And
did you connect those things at that time too? Was that your rationalization for saying, I'm going to spend more time on me because I want to be better for them? Did you have that realization then?
Yeah, I did. All of it just came to me, like, my health. What good is it if I'm sitting here with them all day, but I start getting sick? Like, what good is that? And especially because I knew that I could very easily get diabetes. Or what good is it if I'm sitting here but I'm sad, or like I feel like crap? And then that made me think, like, I want better for them, and I want them to learn. I want them to be active. Like, I want them to eat right. All of that, and so I knew I had to do it for myself first.
So then the question is, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right.
And then I started looking.
What did you try? Yeah.
So I did my videos. Felt good about that.
The exercise videos. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, at least I'm moving. And, but still, I was at home, like, they were there, like, bothering me during the whole thing, of course. But that was, at least they saw me moving. And then I started, like, looking all over. There was, like, at my old work, they had, at my old job, I was at the Excalibur, they had, like, a program, too, where they kind of helped you with, it was like a lifestyle thing.
Like a health coach?
Yeah, like a health thing. And so I went to see him, and he helped me at least, like, in the right direction. Like, showed me, like, good food to eat, but it was still very, like, low fat, or, like, very, he showed me, like, the macro thing, which I tried, but, like, I hate numbers. Like, I don't have time to, like, calculate things. Like, I did it, for like a year, I want to say, and I did lose some weight. No, I didn't do it right. Like, I tried to do it for a year, but I would stop and start. And I did lose like 20 pounds that way, and I felt better. I started exercising, like, at an actual gym, and they had someone help me with that too. So he helped me, like, actually enjoy lifting weights. And
that's great. Sounds like that was a really good positive influence.
Yeah, it was good. Like, that doing that showed me that, okay, I can actually exercise and it's fun. Like, I liked it. And then I can, these new foods that I started eating, like, they're fine. Like, I like them, and I like the way I feel, but I never stuck with it because
Why didn't you stick with it?
It was complicated, like, like having to measure everything, and, like, it was like this much fat and this much this and this much this. Like, I tried it, but it was too hard for me. Like, I just don't like it. Like, I cannot do that forever. And again, I was thinking of it like, okay, so I'll do this, like, Monday through Friday, and the weekends I won't. Or, like, it started becoming, like, less and less, and then I'd get, okay, Monday through Wednesday, and then I won't, because it was exhausting, and
so
it was
the complication,
complicated.
yeah,
like,
complication of it just kind of lended itself to just, like, you just couldn't stick with it.
just started cheating more and more, and like, oh, that looks kind of okay. And then it was very limiting with, things too, where it didn't taste as good. Like, it was just too complicated. And then how do I do that with the kids? Because, like, I'm measuring for me, but I don't know how much they should eat. Like, I don't know. And so I kind of, like, they ate fruits and vegetables and good things. But then it was like, I switched to brown rice or, like, whole wheat bread. Like, it was still all of that. So obviously I didn't feel like I do now, because I was still eating, like, the breads and all.
But at the time
stuff.
you thought it was right.
I did.
And it was complicated, so kind of hard to stick to. And you weren't really sure about how to integrate it with the family.
Yeah.
Although you kind of wanted to some degree. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you found something that kicked you in a good direction.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
did.
Like,
It was
and I'm
definitely
glad that
good.
you found or had this realization that, like, you know, you got to spend some time on yourself. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. So what brought you to, you know, us and learning through us? I forget. Oh, they offered a challenge.
Yeah,
right?
they did offer a challenge at work. I had already heard a little bit about you and SHT from Edward because he came to CrossFit. And I would kind of ignore him. Like, it just, I don't know.
Probably sounded crazy.
It sounded
especially after-
crazy. I was like, well, that's weird. And so I just would ignore
What
him.
was weird about it? It was probably opposite everything that
was
the health
opposite,
guy
like-
told you.
I was like, all that meat and fat, like, what the? Like, you're just going to get fat. That's what I was thinking. Like, how in the world? And, like, that is too much food. And he kind of, like, tried some things, but ultimately didn't. And then we both, you know, at work decided to try your program.
Mm-hmm.
I said, why not? Like, whatever I'm doing now is not, you know, making me happy. Like, I'm just stuck here. I still didn't feel good. Like, I still didn't have much energy. Wasn't sleeping good. Like, well, I'll just try it, you know, learn something new. And yeah, that's what got us to come. And I'm glad we both did it together too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as a family, like, it's super useful when both, you know, partners are on board.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Instead of having a house divided. So what was the experience like? Was it, do you feel like the information was easy to understand? Was it complicated? Was it overwhelming?
No, it was super easy. Like, that's what surprised me the most. Like, I was like, where are the, like, measuring things? And, like, I was expecting to see all the macros again. And you know, you provided all the lists easily. Like, everything made sense. I was still scared about eating all the meat and fat, especially the fat. Like, I was like, how do you eat more fat and, like, lose fat? Like, that's crazy. But the way he explained it, like, it made total sense. And even, like,
It made a lot of sense, but it was going against everything
yeah,
that you've been told
it's
for your
still
entire
scary
life.
though.
Yeah.
I was still like,
For sure.
oh, okay. And then and I was like, I could eat rice. That's great. I eat sweet potato. I thought that was great. I thought it was a little crazy about the last meal of the day, but I'm like, as long as I can have it, like, I'll try it. The fasting, that was the hardest for me to get on board with.
Like, mentally, or just when you attempted it, it was challenging?
Mentally, I was like, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna faint. No, I naturally, like, started doing it on my own. It was crazy. I just wasn't hungry.
Yeah, it's almost like well, you don't even have to really say anything about doing that. Like, people just naturally start,
No, you
start
just-
to eat less,
you
you know,
just
and
do
we
it.
eat less often. Yeah.
And it's such a good feeling that, you know, you don't need to eat all the time. Like, it's great. That was stressful on its own. Like, oh, did I eat 3 meals and 2 snacks? Like, what do I do? Like, what snacks should they be? And, like, all of that just went away. It was easy. Like, the meals are simple. Like, usually so few ingredients. Like, I'm always rushing to cook. And now it's, like, done so fast, like, or easy to, you know, prep. Even Edward started helping me. He never cooked before. And now he's cooking over here. So all of that helped.
He's
a
probably
lot.
taking pride in the meat part of it, right?
He loves
Does he,
it.
like, yeah.
He feels
That's-
so accomplished. Like,
That's
this
the
is
gist
great.
that I get when I hear him in the mornings.
He's so proud of himself. 'Cause before he was, like, overwhelmed with, like, most of the things we had before were more complicated, like, took longer, like, so many ingredients, and he just get overwhelmed. And he now, like, he loves it. He loves to cook too, and it's great. Like, I like seeing it too.
That's great. What are the changes you guys noticed? Like, what y'all experience?
Everything, like, more energy. We're both happier, like, kind of more relaxed about everything. Sleeping better.
Did you know that was because of how you're feeling? Like, did you have a conscious realization, like, hey, we're not as stressed anymore? And
I did, but I just realized because I had more time, like, everything was easier, like prepping the meals, or, you know, even just making lunch for work. Everything's just easier, like, and then it felt good knowing, like, I'm sure this time, like, I'm doing the right thing, and, like, I'm happy, and this is forever. Like, there's no finish line here. Like, I'm not trying to get somewhere. all of that took stress away.
Yeah.
Like all of it.
So the simplicity of it, just knowing that this was going to be a lifestyle for you for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yeah. And then how about, and the way you felt, do you feel like that changed how you interacted, like with Edward, with the kids?
Yeah, I'm happier. Like, well, obviously, like, I lost a ton of weight and I feel 10 years younger. Like, I'm stronger than I was 10 years ago. Like, I'm running around with them. I'm playing. I even started playing sports, which, like,
What sports?
I started doing volleyball and indoor soccer.
Oh my God,
but
that's so cool.
I am not athletic. Like, I never was. I was not the sporty person. So I did that so that they can see me play because they started playing sports. I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. Like, it's nuts. So all of that gives me more confidence. Like, I feel like a better mom.
Yeah, I was saying, it sounds like you like being a role model for them to see, like what a healthy mom can do.
Yeah, I see them like exercising or talking about like what they eat. Like, Mommy, I don't want to eat cookies either because I want to be healthy like you. Or,
that's so good.
I want to be strong like you, Mommy. Are my muscles as strong as you yet? If I eat this, will they be? Like, hearing them talk like that, like so little, I was not even thinking about eating healthy at that age or even know what to do.
Right? No clue. So it's like you'd mentioned before, like they understand, they pick up on stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that. Like, how was the integration with the family and the kids? Like, did you just, like, as soon as you started learning, you came home and completely revamped everything, or did you like wean them off of stuff? Like, what did you do?
Well, I did it. I weaned them off of stuff slowly, but right away. So like their breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it was whatever we ate. So that was right away.
So the main meals, they pretty much ate what you cooked.
Yeah, they ate what I cooked.
Was there any resistance?
With some things, like there's some things that they would say, this, what is this? It's weird, or this tastes funny, and I just told them the truth. Like, that's they even had cow tongue. That's cow tongue, and they're like, ew. I'm like, I know it's a little funny, but you know what? It makes you really strong. Like, Mommy eats this, and look how good I feel. Look at my muscles. Just try it, and they would. And some things they didn't like right away. Some things they did. But
Wow, that's cool that you did.
Yeah, I just
When's the
explained
first
to
time
them.
you did cow tongue? Was that your first time?
Well, because I grew up eating cow tongue.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it had to be part of your heritage or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
it's like common, and I'm Mexican, so we eat like cow tongue tacos or whatever.
Okay,
But
yeah.
they. But I didn't really try it with them, but I started trying more, different kind of meats. Before it was just like the normal chicken, so I started giving them, different things.
So a little bit of resistance, but then they also went along with most of it.
They
right?
did. I just explained, like, this, what it does for you. And then, or sometimes they would ask me, Mommy, why don't you want to eat sugary things? And I said, because it makes me feel terrible. I say, if I eat that, I feel terrible. And then I can't play with you because I just want to lay in bed all day. Or it makes my tummy hurt. Like, that really, really hurts my tummy.
And they understand that, right?
Yeah, they do. They're like, oh, I don't want to eat it either. You don't have to. It doesn't have any. I tell them it doesn't do anything good for your body. I said, you could have something that does do something good for your body. So I always explain what each thing does for them. Like, that helps you see better. Do you want to see better? Do you want really nice skin? Like, and then that gets them to try it. And, most of the time they like it. And I've also tried having them cook with me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so that is the easiest way. If they cook with you and touch everything and see it and how it came to be, like, they will always try it. Like, I usually when it's something new, that's what I do, and they always try it because they're excited about it. They made it.
They're proud of it.
Yeah. They helped me make it.
That's great. I love that.
Or we decorate, like, we try and, like, for lunch mainly we do this. Like, I give them everything and they decorate their plate. Like, they make fun little things, like little butterflies or whatever. Or I cut things up into little shapes, and
Like fruit, pieces of fruit,
pieces
stuff like
of fruit,
that?
vegetables, and then usually like the meat or whatever gets rolled up, or they decorate it somehow, and that helps too. We do like all kinds of things like that for lunch.
What's some examples? Because you said sometimes they wouldn't like something, but then you would keep. Didn't you say you would keep offering it, or periodically put it in front of them? Like what's
like
some examples?
Eggs. They didn't like eggs, which is crazy. Like I couldn't have them not like eggs. It's like the easiest thing. And so I tried scramble. I tried all kinds of ways, like season it differently. I was like, they have to like it with butter, right? Like who doesn't? Nope. So I finally did hard-boiled eggs, which are like my least favorite, but that's what they like. So now I make them hard-boiled and they eat them. And then different things like that. I tell my daughter doesn't like tomatoes, and I told her, there's some things I didn't like before, and then I just liked them one day.
Oh, that's such a beautiful piece of advice, right?
I was like, you just have to keep trying sometimes. Like, she's like what? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't like seafood before because I thought it was smelly. But then I kept trying it in different ways, and it was good. And so, she the other day, she tells me, Mommy, I want to try tomatoes again. Maybe I like them now.
And all it took was just for you to say that simple, piece of advice. Like, sometimes you come back and you give it a shot again, and your mind changes about it.
Yeah, I never get mad at them. Like, I'm like, okay, taste it. You don't like it? Okay, we'll try again. We'll try again. Maybe you'll like it next time.
Yeah.
And I think that, them choosing it, like, I think it makes them feel better too.
Giving them the choice, and then also the autonomy to say, I like it or don't like it, not forcing them to eat it, but then also planting in their minds that, hey, let's give it a shot again at some point down the road, because Mommy has done that, and I actually like stuff that I didn't like before.
Yep.
I think that's so great. And then you talked about getting creative with, definitely having them involved in the cooking process.
Yeah, that is the best thing to do, especially if it's something new they've never seen.
Cool. So pro tip from Christina. Like,
yes, pro tip.
Pro tip is get the kids involved, especially with a new dish, because then the pride that they have in it makes them want to consume it.
So make them at least try it.
Have they ever made something with you that they thought was gross?
No,
after
never.
They tasted it? Okay,
never.
Cool.
No, and we try all your recipes, and they do. They end up loving it. Sometimes they say it tastes different or funny, but don't let that stop you, or just because they don't like it the first time, don't let that stop you, because it changes. It always does. And of course, it tastes funny. It does. It tastes different. But then that's the new. It ends up being the new normal for them. And
you said before it does taste funny and different because it's healthy.
Yeah. Because it has good stuff, and I tell them before it was really bad junk that messes you up inside. I just tell them the truth, and they understand.
That's so great.
Yeah.
What's some other things that you use to get creative? Like you had mentioned before, don't you use different utensils or something like that?
Yes. Yeah. So sometimes, because we have chopsticks, or I buy them little cool forks or little spoons that look interesting. So I would especially do that in their lunch when they're at school, to make sure they eat it's like a game to them. So they'll ask me sometimes, can I eat with chopsticks? Yeah, if you eat it, you can have chopsticks with random things they're eating, and that helps too.
All right, I gotta get those specifics for the forks and the spoons and all that. So changing up the utensils, letting them decorate their plates and design their food and stuff like that, right?
Yep, sorry. Yep, all of that helps.
What's a typical day look like for you guys now? Well, first, any other tips on integrating with kids? I loved everything that you said, getting them involved, explaining to them so they understand, and being very honest with them about what's going on. Not forcing them to do anything, but encouraging them to try things for sure. Yes. And then getting creative with how you do the plates and your utensils and things like that. Is there anything else you felt like was a really, really helpful?
No, I think just your attitude, it's going to affect them, so that if you're happy and excited about eating these things, they will be too. since we started SHT, Edward and I were like 100% and on board. So they saw like we were happy, we were excited, like this is good stuff we're eating, and I think that they felt that. So that's what made them want to try it too, or like, I don't want to eat that either, I want to be like you. But if you go into it like with a negative mindset and like, this is terrible, I'm miserable, like, oh, it's gonna be so hard, how are they gonna want to eat this, like, then yeah, it's gonna go that way.
Right. Yeah. So just being the examples, them seeing the results that you're experiencing, but then also like explaining to them what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, like because like I said, they're intelligent.
Yeah,
they
give them
pick up on
credit.
all
Like
this
they'll
stuff.
understand, and they can make the good choices too, if you let them. Like explain to them everything, and sometimes let them decide, and you'll be surprised. Like they will make the good choices.
That's great stuff. Great stuff. So what does a typical day look like for you? Like from the time you get up to the time you go to bed?
Right now with this COVID stuff.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like what do you?
Well, I wake up like at 5:30.
Are you still going into the office, or do you guys do
No,
all
I
remote?
work from home. Edward goes into the office.
Okay.
So then I drink some water. I have my coffee. And then I wake the kids up.
How do you do your coffee?
I do with heavy cream and a little bit of stevia. A little bit of heavy cream too. And then I wake the kids up. Well, I work a little bit before they wake up from home, and then I wake them up and get them ready, get their breakfast done, and usually it's like hard-boiled eggs and bacon. They love bacon. That was the easiest thing. Like we can all eat bacon, like easy. So they usually eat that.
Do you have breakfast with them, or do you?
I don't.
Fast?
I fast. Like I'm never hungry. That was just the normal for me. I'm never hungry in the morning, so I don't eat breakfast. Just have my coffee, and I take them to school, and they're only gone for 3 hours right now. So I try to do like all I can work-wise in those 3 hours.
Is school close to home then?
It is.
Cool.
Yeah, it's close.
Rush home, work as hard as you can for 3 hours.
And then I go get them, and then they have lunch, and then I usually have lunch with them. So I eat around 12, and it's usually like some meat, like chicken or steak or turkey, like something. Bunch of veggies that they choose. I always have like random ones. I usually let them pick. Or like a salad. They love
That's
salad.
another good pro tip.
Yeah,
a
lot of it's usually all like ready there, and they can tell me like, what do you want? And lots of cheese. They like cheese. And then after that, I let them play a little while, and then I go back to work for a little bit, and then I have to get them and like teach them like extra stuff that I didn't get to do in the 3 hours while I'm working. It's terrible right now. So, and then after that,
do they have snacks in between
sometimes
their main meals?
They sometimes ask for snacks, and sometimes they don't. I let them like decide, and when they do, it's usually after lunch, and between lunch and dinner, and I usually give them like nuts. Some nuts.
So breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then if they want something, all they gotta do is ask.
Yeah,
right?
they just ask.
Love that.
And then after that, I usually go. Edward gets home, and then I go to the gym. I go to kickboxing.
Oh yeah, you was telling me you're doing kickboxing. Do you like
Yeah,
that?
I do. It's like kind of relieves my stress too.
I was gonna say stress relieving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything from the crazy hectic day, I just go punch it out over there. It feels so good to punch something. And if I don't do that, then I do like weights at home. But usually it's like 4 days a week kickboxing. And that's like my me time where I get away from everyone and get to, just punch the bag, relax, like think about things. Like that's when I get that out of the way.
That's your hour of power. Is it an hour or hour and a half?
It's an hour.
Okay, that's your hour of
It's
power.
an hour. Yep.
So, and where do you get most of your recipes? Like you just Google, like
Yeah.
you create stuff? since you got-
Sometimes it's like whatever we have, that's what we're gonna eat, and then I just figure it out. And then we do a lot of your stuff, and then Googling things. Yeah.
Just making sure that you use good ingredients with
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, we do.
Well, I think that's all really, really great stuff. If I could just recap. Oh, I was going to ask you, how do you feel about Bravo drinking beer all the time? Like, how does that?
He's terrible. Like, I try, Paul. I tell him, like, to stop or, like, make it less often at least. But he just loves his beer.
Well,
he loves
you know what?
trying them all.
If he's doing good with everything else, I think that's an okay vice to have.
I think he's doing, one day a week now, so that's good.
Okay.
And he
that's
just
awesome.
likes, like, tasting them, and then he talks about them.
I
This
miss
one
them.
is.
I totally understand. I miss them so much. I just can't do it.
I like beer too, but I can be fine without it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's just all about it. I don't know. He's drinking more seltzers now when he does, but he just like when a new one comes out, he just has to.
He
try
just
it.
gets excited. He has to have it. So let's just do a little recap.
Okay.
First of all, if I hear you right, having this realization that like you're important, and the more that you can take care of yourself, the better you're going to be for whatever it is you care about, your kids, your work, and that was a really powerful realization to have. I think that's what kind of kicked off your personal health journey and happiness,
Yeah, definitely.
And then the things you tried before, a little bit too complicated. They may have given you some results, but they weren't something that you plan on sticking to for a lifetime.
Nope. And I even told myself I wouldn't. I was like.
You knew it. You knew it when you were in it.
Yeah.
And so what you want is to find something that's very doable, livable, and simplistic. Like simplistic enough that it's like you can do it. It doesn't feel stressful, and it's something you feel like you can live with for a lifetime. And by eating the way that you did, like it freed up a lot of time because of the simplicity, and not being, creating like all these different meals and snacks and things like that.
Yep.
I love everything that you said about the kids, getting them involved, right? Explaining to them what's happening and what's going on, how some foods make you feel personally, and why you don't eat some foods and you do eat some foods. Getting them involved in the kitchen, getting them involved in cooking, especially for new dishes, because then they have some pride in that.
Yep.
And then getting creative with how you serve it, and utensils and things like that.
Yep. And kids, they naturally are going to do what you do. Like
And being a leader and an example. Yeah, being a
Yeah.
leader and an example.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so important for all of us to find our way in this health journey of ours, because there's people watching, and it's not just doesn't just make us better for what the things that we care about. It impacts other people that are looking up to us and depending on us. So I think that's so beautiful. So anything else?
No, I just want to thank you, Paul. Thank you for letting me share my story and for teaching me all this. Like, you have no idea how happy we are thanks to you. And like now the best thing is that my kids will started so young, and they're gonna take this with them. I'm just so grateful.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if we'd have found this when we were that age.
I know.
But yeah, no, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I know it's going to be really powerful and helpful. I'm already excited to share it with other people, and then we're going to do this little the Mothers Round Table, and try to. Because I feel like we need more resources and information for other families out there, and it's great to hear that, that it is possible to do this with the kids as well. And you shared a lot of great tips to help people do that. So thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right, and I appreciate you and Bravo so much.
Thank you.
All right.